All right, we're going to learn some techniques for fighting that are vitally important if you want to live to see another day. I call it Fight for Your Life, The Secrets of Street Fighting. This is an old book I wrote in the 1980s, the early 90s, and it has sold thousands, tens of thousands of copies. It's a great book. It shows you how you can live to fight another day by defending yourself in the street. So let's get started right here and make the pictures a little bit bigger. You are being attacked outside in a parking lot by a big old guy, a big old nasty guy, and he is going to try and punch you. You simply lift up your arm and do a rising upper block. You don't have to be real sophisticated about this, just lifting your arm up and doing a rising up block. And I'm going to follow through with that up block with a hard front snap kick right into the groin. Brother, this stops him. This stops him. This is fighting for my life. I don't want this guy in a boxing match. I want him on the ground. So I'm going to smash him in the groin. Then I'm going to finish him off with an elbow right in the throat. Most of the techniques I'm going to use in this book are going to finish the fight in a violent way. We do not want this guy getting mad. We do not want him continuing to want to fight. So I'm not going to just punch him in the belly and say, oh, now stop it. I'm going to kick him in the groin. I'm going to smash him in the throat. I'm going to send him to the hospital, folks. I'm fighting for my life. Here we are. He's a big, bad boxing kind of guy. You know, I really like to fight boxers when I know how to kick. They think they can beat you, but they have no idea that you have to give them permission to box you, which means you have to give them permission that you're not going to kick them. Well, I'm not giving you that permission. You get into a boxing stance, folks, you jab out, I'm going to break your ribs. When you jab out, I'm going to lift up my left foot. I'm going to smash you right in the ribs. And in karate, we stand completely sideways where a boxer will stand facing each other. I'm standing sideways. When he jabs at me, look how far away I am. His arm is at least 3 feet from my head, and yet I'm kicking him in the ribs. Now that ain't good enough. I want to finish him off after I've kicked him and broke his ribs. I want to finish him off with a knee smash right to the head. So you got a boxer there. He's going to jab at you. He's trying to push on you. Bam! I step back. I snap up a side snap or side thrust kick right into his floating ribs. 99 out of 100 times this will stop the fight right there. But I want to make sure. I'm going to hold his hair and I'm going to smash my knee right into his teeth. Great technique. Fighting for my life. I don't want him to have a chance. Now I got another boxer type. This time he's going to move around. He's dancing around. Well, I want to get his attention. And I found a real good way to get somebody's attention is to break their knee. To do a side snap kick right into his knee. That generally tends to stop the fight right there. It generally tends to slow him down well enough for me to finish him off with a nice bam, grab into the hair, pop him in the face. I hold on to his hair. I broke his knee. I reach up. I grab his hair. I come up and I smash him right in the face. So, you know, I've been kicked in the knee in a karate match and before and had to go to the hospital. You kick someone in the knee, folks, it just devastates them. Then I'm going to reach up and grab his hair and I'm going to finish him off by holding his hair and taking my elbow and ripping it across his face. I'm either going to hit him right in the eyes or right on the jaw or right on the nose. I'm going to break his jaw, bust his eyes, crush his skull. An elbow to the face is so much more powerful than a punch to the face. It's devastating. Here we got a boxer and I don't even want him to get started. So before he can even get up and get into a good guard, I'm going to snap out a roundhouse kick. I'm going to a thrusting roundhouse kick right into the solar plexus. Now that hurts, folks. When my big old legs, you know, and everybody's legs are capable of picking up 200 or 300 pounds. If I were to take a 200-pound weight and drop it on your belly, it hurts. I got on cowboy boots. I'm kicking him right in the gut If I want to be meaner, I can kick him right in the groin. I can kick him right in the face. I don't suggest kicking in the face unless you're really limber and really good about it. After I've kicked him in the gut, I'm going to step in and I'm going to punch him in the solar plexus. Then I'm going to come across with a right cross right on his temple. Right on his temple, or right on his end of his jaw, right where his jaw meets his ear. Right in the temple, or right where his jaw meets his ear, and knock him, hit him right there. And I'm going to finish him with a left hook right on his jaw or right in his throat. So I'm not hitting him in places that I want to hurt my hand. I don't hit him on top of the head, and I'm hitting him right in the jaw, and I'm hooking him right on the end of his jaw or right in his throat. That's going to finish the fight, folks. Now, I said you don't want to kick high unless you're limber. Well, I'm limber. So now I'm in this position. I fake the low kick. Now I do a high snap kick. Bam! Right into the side of his head. If you watch the UFC, you've seen Crow Cop do this a lot. You've seen Pierre do it a lot. You've seen, what's his name, Silva do it a lot, Anderson Silva. That high front snap kick. Bam! Right on his head. I can do it from the back foot. Bam! Right on his head. But watch what I'm going to do that's different. I'm going to follow it up by reaching in, and I'm going to wrap my arms around his neck. I'm going to wrap my arm around his neck. So I kicked him in the side of the head. If that didn't knock him out, I step in, I wrap around his neck. And from there, I rip his head down, and I can break his neck. I can bend him backwards, pull him to the ground, and from there I can reach up and put pressure on his throat as I rip his eyes out, tear his throat off. Remember, I'm fighting for my life here. When I bend him over backwards, I want to smash his head on my knee. I'm going to bring him all the way to the ground. I'm going to rip his eyes out. I'm going to tear his throat out. We're fighting for our life here. All right, let's go. This is using a little karate Muay Thai technique. I'm pumping him right in the eye, pumping him right in the eye, pumping him right in the eye. Then, after I've stunned him or something, I've sort of stunned him with that because I have to do a quick pow, pop it out, pop it out. Unlike a boxer, I'm not going to finish it with a punch. I'm going to step up and grab his shirt, and I'm going to do a leg sweep, a foot sweep. So I punched him in the eye, and then I quickly came up. He's expecting me to punch him. I'm going to sweep him. I'm going to sweep him all the way to the ground, grabbing him by the shirt, hooking the inside of his leg, sweeping him all the way to the ground. Then I throw him on the ground, and I'm fighting for my life here, so I'm going to stomp his throat. I'm going to stomp his face. I'm going to stomp his throat. I don't want him getting up. I don't want him continuing to fight. I'm fighting for my life here, not fighting for fun. This is not point fighting. I'll stomp him right in the throat, stomp him right in the face. So if you are doing this for fun, or a school fight or something, don't stomp their throat. Okay? Here's something that works every time you try it. He tries to jab me, and I kick him. You know, I'm 6'2". His arm's 3 feet long. My leg's 5 feet long, or 4 feet long. His arm's 3 feet. My leg's 4 feet, and I'm a little bit longer than that too because I have a big body. I snap a front thrust kick right into his ribs. Bam! Right when he's starting to. I've done this to boxers before, and baby, I've collapsed them like a dove, like a baby. I've just cracked their ribs. Then I'll step in and I'm going to grab him by the ears, grab him by the hair, or grab him by the ears, or grab him by the back of his head, and I'm going to knee him right in the groin. Right in the groin. I've broken his ribs. Bam! I step up, I knee him right in the groin, and then I finish him off with a smash my head right between his eyes. So it's a knee, and then just come right down with my head. Boom! Smash him right between the eyes. You know what? That finishes him off, folks. That finishes him off. He's not going to continue to bother me. Now I got a guy who thinks he knows how to kick, but he doesn't. He's just seen it in the movies. As you can see there, he's just got a big old sloppy, slow roundhouse kick or swinging it at my back. I catch it and block it. I catch it and I block it, and watch what I'm doing. Something he's never expected. I'm catching it and blocking it, and I kick him right in the groin with the same leg, or I can kick him right in the groin with the other leg. But once I have that foot in the air, I do not want him to do anything about it. I don't want him to be able to continue to fight. So I catch his foot, I grab it, I kick him right in the groin. And then I finish him off by stepping in, chopping a shudo chop right on the back of his neck. So I blocked this kick. That didn't teach him a lesson. I kick him right in the groin, and I step in, chop the back of his neck, break his neck. And here's a strong finish. The picture's a little older. I bring my knee up and smash him right under the throat. So I chopped his neck, which hurts him, tends to break his neck, but I want to make sure I finished him off. So I bring my knee up and smash my knee right into his throat. Baby, that's the end of his life. That's the finishes him off good. Here's a really quick technique, and I'm pretty famous for this kicking picture here because it works so good. He's going to try and punch me, and I'm going to kick him right in the throat. Now, isn't that something? If you do a front snap kick right into somebody's throat, well, I'm not a genius. I'm not a doctor. I'm a martial arts doctor. But if I kick you in the throat, I bet I stop you. And then I'm going to finish it with a side kick to his face or his throat. So I went, boom. I smashed him in the throat with a kick. Now I side kicked him right in the face. If you're not limber, you can't do this. I can side kick him in the ribs. And just to finish him off, I'm going to break his knees. So after all of that, I kicked him in the throat, kicked him in the face, and I broke his knee. Pretty serious stuff. You know, that's why I called the book Fight for Your Life. So here he is the guy that he's grabbed me around the head. He's a real punk. He's grabbed me around the head. He's a big old nasty guy. So I want to get his attention. I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to punch him right in the groin. I'm going to punch him right in the, I'm just going to punch him right in the nuts. I'm going to tell you, that's going to, I don't know why these people that do these headlocks think they can get away with that. You know why? Because they never punched him in the nuts. Punch him in the groin, he'll tend to loosen up. But to make sure, I reach up and grab his hair. I reach up with my right hand after I punch him in the groin and grab his hair, or if he doesn't have hair, if he's shaved head, I will grab his nose and lean him back. I lean him back, and I'm going to smash him right in the throat. So he's grabbed me in a headlock, which I don't appreciate. So I want him to stop. I punch him right in the groin. Then I reach up, grab his hair, stretch him back, smash him right in the throat. Pretty effective stuff. Pretty effective stuff. Here he's got me in a full Nelson. Now let me tell you, a full Nelson, it really hurts. You've got to stop the full Nelson. So how do you do that? I do that by putting my hands literally on my forehead. I put my hands on my forehead, and that literally stops the motion. I know you're going, well, that doesn't work. Try it. It does work. It does work. It gives me all the strength of my shoulders and my upper body, and I stop him from pushing me down. Now I want to break that hold. I'm going to take the heel of my boot, and yeah, I'm wearing a boot here, and I smash it right on his instep. I break this foot with that. I'm going to tell you, if I smash my foot onto the top of your foot, I'm going to break your instep. You are going to let go. When you let go, I'm going to elbow you right in the groin again. I'm going to elbow you right in the groin or right in the stomach again. Then I'm going to finish you off with a hard, vicious elbow right in the face. Right in the face. So let's look at this technique again. He's grabbed me in a bear hug, a headlock from behind. I put my hands up on the top of my head. Now, if you've ever been to karate, you know this works. If you haven't, you people that are reading this or seeing this video the first time, you don't know this works. Put your hands on the front of your forehead. He cannot push you down. Even if he's lifted you up, he cannot put the pressure. If you let him push you over, it's a lot harder to do this escape. Then I stomp his instep, and I can do that because I'm looking. I'm looking at his feet, and he's not expecting me. I'm going to stomp. He's wearing tennis shoes. I'm wearing boots. If you're not wearing boots, that's fine. Tennis shoe will work fine. Even barefoot will work fine. You don't want to miss. If I stomp the top of his foot, I don't want to miss, and if I'm not wearing shoes, and hit the ground. If I stomp as hard as I can, I hit the ground, and I hit my heel, I'll hurt my heel. Then I'm going to turn around and elbow him right in the gut or right in the groin. Finish him off with a vicious elbow right into his jaw, knocking him totally unconscious, folks.